Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. Carlos Ulberg versus Ihor Potieria. Ihor Potieria is 26 years old, got a record of 19-3, and he's giving up 1 inch of height and 2 inches of reach to Carlos Ulberg, who is 7-1 as a pro and is 32 years old. Ihor is probably usually the bigger, stronger man, but here he's fighting somebody who's bigger, taller, stronger, longer, and in my opinion, better on the feet. Much better on the feet, which is where I think Ihor, that's where I think his primary strength is. Ihor does have 6 submission victories, but they're all over shit competition. This guy, in his 19-3 record, he's fought like 20 dog shit fighters. And again, the one win of his in the UFC comes over 57-year-old Shogun Rua. And even though Shogun's a beautiful name to have on your record, it's, he was just way too old. You got to dismiss that right away. His one loss inside the UFC was the Nicholas Negomariano, or Nikolai. And Nikolai hurt him, beat the shit out of him there, but Ihor was impressing me with his toughness. Just in the end, I think at the end of round 2, he finally crumbled. But still, he showed something there, just at the same time, he looked limited. And Negomariano, speaking of which, Carlos Ulberg, I think, got his last victory over Negomariano. Just steamrolled him in a few minutes, if that. Knocked him out. And I think this fight is just a bad matchup for Ihor Potieria. Unless Ihor Potieria is able to implement his grappling in this fight, which, amongst UFC fighters, Carlos Ulberg's definitely on the lower end of the grapplers, no doubt about it. He's pretty much a pure striker, but he's training with the best anti-grapplers, city kickboxing. He's training with Israel Adesanya, who has a similar skill set and has made the most, or the least, of his grappling, I should say. So I expect Ulberg, especially being a big, strong guy, to have enough takedown defense to shut down a guy like Ihor, who just, despite his record, hasn't impressed me in that regard. And I think this fight is a kickboxing fight, and Carlos Ulberg wins in round 1. That's my prediction. Carlos Ulberg's lost once. It was the Canadian Zechiku who turned the fight around, was getting his ass kicked, getting hurt badly, but just ate it, and then turned the fight around and knocked Carlos out in round 2. It's a fucking beautiful win. But Kennedy's an exceptional fighter, and he's specifically a comeback fighter. He's got many comebacks. And, again, like I said the other day, you could argue he had another one a few days ago. But I wouldn't call that a comeback. Of course, he was almost knocked out at the end of round 1. Either way, he's an exceptional fighter, an exceptional comeback artist. I haven't seen that amongst anything else, really, from Ihor Potieria. I think this fight's standing, and Carlos Ulberg pretty much gets through him in the first round. I think he runs through him. He's going to be able to hit him. Ihor Potieria is not used to being the shorter guy here, and Carlos Ulberg's just a bad matchup. I think he's going to piece him up and finish him with punches very early in the fight. Round 1 finishes the pick. I have played a sprinkle on the under 1.5 rounds, minus 140, and then the prop bets were just released. I threw something on round 1, plus 200 for Carlos Ulberg. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. No big bets because he's such a big favorite, but the pick is Carlos Ulberg by knockout round 1. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.